Chapter 1, Pre-Draft Lonzo. Here we go. Lonzo Ball, born October 27th, 1997 in Anaheim, California. Lonzo would attend Chino Hills High School, and in 2012, he was a freshman, but he was playing on varsity already as a freshman, and as you can see, they went 24-5. Overall, a pretty good freshman year for Lonzo. As you can see his totals here, he played in 29 games, averaged about 13.8 points per game, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and a steal, and you can see already comparing to the national average, Lonzo is above average in most categories here. And this was also just him as a freshman, so his role on varsity was obviously a lot smaller than it would be in the coming years. You know, he was more of a role player, but now we're going into his sophomore year where he would grow from 6'3 to 6'5, and the team would be very good once again. And his stats would increase from his freshman year. He would average about the same points, but the assists and rebounds obviously going up here, and then also the steals going from 1 to 3 steals per game, already showing some flashes here of an elite defensive mindset. And I know we're still very early on the Lonzo Ball recruit status and everything like that, but people were really praising his IQ, his passing ability, and his defense. But something that was already getting criticized was his shot and his shot form. When he would shoot, he would basically bring the ball all the way to the side of his face and launch it like a slingshot, which was very unorthodox. And to add on top of that, his shooting percentages and splits weren't the best. And anyways, we are now going into his junior year of high school, which, as we've talked about in other Files videos, is a very important year and definitely is the year where the recruiting and everything, the scouting, really ramps up the most. But Chino Hills would have a down year this year. As you can see, going 17-15, 5-5 in league play, national and state rank both going down, but Lonzo Ball as a personal individual would grow up to be 6'6" now, 180 pounds, and now let's look at his individual stats. Lonzo would have an amazing year as an individual, averaging 24.3 points per game, 11.3 rebounds, and 9.1 assists. He was also a finalist for Player of the Year on Cal High Sports, and he also led the team, despite their terrible record, to the state title game, which they would lose in double overtime. And as you can see here, Lonzo Ball at the end of his sophomore year, the year before this monster year, was already rated 95th by 24/7 Sports. So after this amazing year where he averaged almost a triple-double and led the team to the state title game despite the bad record, you can only expect his recruiting ranking to skyrocket now. And now we're going into 2015-2016, which would be Lonzo Ball's senior year of high school and his last year playing with Chino Hills. But this year of basketball would not just be a normal year for Chino Hills, it would be a cultural phenomenon. Chino Hills would go 35-0, be number 1 nationally ranked, number 1 state ranked, and Lonzo Ball was officially 6'6". They would also go 10-0 in league play, and this is just the start. All 3 of the Ball brothers were on this team, and media outlets were flocking to come see the number 1 team in the country play basketball. And the head of the snake was none other than Lonzo Ball, averaging 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 steals and 2 blocks per game, officially averaging a triple-double with 5 steals. And the game that would really put them on the map would be Chino Hills knocking off number 1 Montverde Academy in the quarterfinals, and the Ball brothers would snap Montvert's 29-game win streak. And this Montverde team was stacked. They had players like RJ Barrett on the team. And Chino Hills was playing an insane brand of basketball. Full court passes were on the regular, open threes, drilling them. And Lonzo Ball was seen as the leader and someone who could pass up an open layup to find an open 3, and scouts loved this. Lonzo was cooking. Those dunks are crazy. Hitting threes, even with that horrible form, he was going off, and he was solidified the number 1 point guard in the country by the end of his senior year. Just look at this recruiting profile. This is absolutely insane. 24/7 Sports had him rated 101, number 2 nationally, number 1 point guard, number 1 in California, and his composite score was .9978. Oh my goodness, this is one of the best recruiting profiles we've ever seen. Lonzo would also win the Naismith Trophy. I don't really know how to say it, but that is a national award. Everyone knew about him now, and Lonzo Ball was about to end his high school career on top of the entire world. At this point, Lonzo was more than just a basketball player. He was an icon for social media. Ball His Life was posting him. His highlights were everywhere. People were dying to get in to the arena just to watch him play. Chino Hills, 35-0. He was an icon. And Lonzo, during his senior year, would also sign with UCLA. He was going to be attending UCLA in the fall of 2016, and he was taking his talents to LA, or keeping them there, I guess. And UCLA, the year before Lonzo got there, went 15-17, so they had a lot of work to do, but getting Lonzo was a great start. Could the McDonald's All-American Lonzo Ball, 35-0 state champion, National Player of the Year, Ball His Life, head front running article, headline, could he come in and change the culture around at UCLA from a losing team to a winning team? In his first game in a UCLA jersey, Lonzo Ball would have 19 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. He would also shoot 75% from three, greening up 3 threes. The hype is real from Lonzo. He's cooking early. And he was more than just the best player on the team. He was also a cultural phenomenon. Just like in high school at UCLA, people were coming from everywhere to watch him, tuning in on the TV. He was huge. And if you're a stat nerd like me, here is every single game he played in the regular season. As you can see, super well-rounded player, can do everything: assist, rebound, steal, score. He was showing the flashes he was showing in high school. Here in college, the hype was legit. And he wasn't just a bunch of numbers. UCLA would start 9-0 and beat Kentucky, who was on a 42-game win streak. On the back of Lonzo Ball, they would end this win streak. And remember when I said UCLA was 15-17 before they got Lonzo? After they got Lonzo, they're 31-5, 8th in the final AP poll. Oh my goodness, they are insane. And Lonzo would end his college career averaging 14.6 points, 6 rebounds, 7.5 assists, continuing to show that all-around player style. He shot 55% from the field and 41% from three. Even with that super odd shooting form we talked about earlier, he was still greening up. And something I wanted to mention is his shooting form was also kind of a global icon. I remember people at recess at the park shooting like him, trying to shoot like him, and just saying Lonzo and just shooting the ball off the side of their head. It was super hilarious. But anyway, back to the video. So now that Lonzo Ball's college career is over and he really carried that hype from high school into college and he performed, the draft lottery was coming up for the NBA and he was going to be a top pick, but which teams would have a shot at actually drafting him? And boom, the order was set and it was draft night, and the top picks would be the Sixers from a trade, the Lakers, and the Celtics. And a lot of people had Lonzo Ball going number 2, as you can see here in these mock drafts. He was getting Magic Johnson comparisons, and also everyone was saying he aligns perfectly with the Lakers, obviously playing high school in Chino Hills, going to UCLA, and then playing for the Lakers in LA. It almost seemed like it all matched up perfectly for Lonzo, especially with the Lakers coming out of the Kobe era. They needed someone new and a new face of the franchise to stand up for them. And oh my goodness, Lonzo Ball picked number 2 in the NBA draft by the Los Angeles Lakers. The LA kid is staying home. Chino Hills to UCLA to now the Lakers. He looks super promising. The hype is real. We cannot wait to see this kid get on the court. Chapter 2, Lakers Lonzo. So Lonzo Ball was now officially in the NBA, but before he would step on the court for the actual team, he would play for the Summer League team, which everyone was super excited to watch. And he would cook in Summer League, winning the MVP, averaging 16.3 points, 7.7 rebounds, 2.5 steals, and even 9.3 assists per game. He also dropped a triple-double, which hadn't been done in Summer League since 2008. And he would lead the Lakers Summer League team to the championship game, but he would miss it due to a calf strain. But no need to worry, he is a super healthy player and will never get injured ever again. Now the Lakers are officially going into the season. Lonzo Ball is healthy and ready, and he is going into his rookie season. Let's see how this goes. Okay, maybe a little bit of a welcome to the NBA moment for Lonzo, getting guarded by Patrick Beverley basically the entire game. He did start, but this is okay. It's only his debut. Let's see what else he does. Boom! Let's see how he follows that up with a 29-11 in 9-game, 8-8-13, 6-8-10. Remember, Lonzo is not known as a scorer, so he is filling the stat sheet on all 3 levels. This is what they brought him in here to do. In his first week in the NBA, he looks great. He would follow that up with a little bit of a rough stretch, dropping 0 in a game, but still, he's filling up the stat sheet with a 10-8-8 game, 9-5-9. He's doing what he was brought in to do. Oh my goodness. Lonzo Ball drops a triple-double in the first month of his NBA career. 19, 12, 13, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 7 for 12, 3 for 5. Oh my goodness. And this was no ordinary triple-double. Los Angeles rookie Lonzo Ball becomes youngest to post triple-double, beating out LeBron James by just a couple of days, but Lonzo etches himself in NBA history in only his first month in the league. Another one! Another triple-double! Lonzo's back in Chino Hills hooping! Overall, Lonzo's play as a rookie looked a lot like this stretch in December, which was some games were kind of disastrous, but some games he was filling up the stat sheet where he was lacking in other nights, like 10 assists, 15 points, 2 rebounds. He's not getting rebounds, but he's getting assists, gets points when he doesn't get assists. He finds a way to impact the game no matter what, whether it's defensively, on the glass, passing, or scoring. And the Lakers through the first 30 games of the season would be 10-20, which isn't good, but also this was the current roster. Nothing special. They were still kind of in their rebuild, getting Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Julius Randle, and now Lonzo all kind of acclimated to the new team. And while we are watching Lonzo kind of figure it out as a rookie, he's also dropping triple doubles, and he's just fun to watch every single night. But he would face his first injury of the season coming in late December and even stretching into early mid-January. And I know what you're all thinking. No, this is not a knee injury. This is actually a shoulder sprain, and he only missed 6 games from it. But it's just something to note early on in his career, dealing with just a little bit of injuries here. And he would come back from that injury and put up stat lines that we're used to seeing from him. As we can see, he's just an all-around amazing player on offense and defense, and we just can't wait to see what he will develop into. But right after he comes back, he starts getting hurt again, this time with a knee injury. Wait, what's going on with this one? Okay, if we're looking at this here, he's on his way back from a left knee sprain suffered on January 13th. It's looking like a sprained MCL. Okay, I mean, hopefully it's just sprained and it's not that bad, but oh man, we hate to see this. We loved watching him so far his rookie season. But he would come back from this knee soreness, knee injury, and be dropping stat lines again that we're used to seeing, even having a game with 6 steals and a game with 6 3-pointers made. He is an all-around talent. I keep saying it, but it's almost like there's nothing on the court he can't do. And as you can see here, he would end his rookie season not playing, mainly because of that knee injury. It was kind of nagging at him the entire time, and so the team just thought it would be best to shut him down for the ending of the season. But now that his rookie season is over, we can look at his stats from a bird's eye view here, playing in 52 games, starting in 50 of them, playing around 35 minutes a night, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7.2 assists, 1.7 steals per game. But look at the efficiency. It's really, really bad. 36% from the field, 30% from 3, 45% from the line. What is he doing at the free throw line? 44% true shooting. But honestly, he's a rookie. We can't read into the efficiency too much because you're throwing him into the fire a little early, but it's okay. The rest of the stats look good. And we would be seeing Lonzo on an all-rookie team just behind Dennis Smith Jr. He was receiving 87 points and even 7 votes to be on the first team. So Lonzo Ball getting his first accolade of his NBA career. When it comes to Rookie of the Year voting, he wouldn't get any votes for Rookie of the Year, and Ben Simmons would win, even though he was a sophomore, but that's a story for another day. Now we are in the offseason, and we get some bad news about Lakers guard Lonzo Ball. He has to undergo surgery in that left knee. Remember, when we were going through his rookie season, he was dealing with that injury, and it looks like he actually has to go with surgery for it. Oh no. And people really didn't know how bad it was. They just knew it required surgery, but thank God it's in the offseason and it's not during the regular season, and maybe he should be back for the start of the season. What? LeBron James signs with the Lakers over the offseason, coming off another finals appearance with the Cavs. He's going to be on the Lakers with Lonzo. Oh my gosh, this duo is going to be crazy. Yo, the Lakers weren't good last year, but they got Bron now. Lonzo, oh my goodness, wait, this is insane for Lonzo's career. And Lonzo would play the first game of his sophomore season against the Blazers, only playing 19 minutes. He was now coming off the bench. Rondo got the starting spot, and his first game was a little rough, but again, his first game last year was a little rough, so we can't read into it too much, but this is the first game of his second year. I'm excited for Lonzo. He made the recovery, second year Lonzo. Now we are looking at the first week of this season, and Lonzo, after this game against Houston there at the bottom, would actually win the starting spot back. So he's back starting with the Lakers and LeBron, and he's putting up stat lines that we're used to seeing from him. Okay, now in this new screenshot, you can see we're about a month and a half into the season, and he's putting up similar stat lines. The efficiency is about the same, maybe a little bit better from last year, but remember, he had surgery over the offseason. He couldn't practice that much. Now he has LeBron on his team. There's just so much going on for Lonzo right now, a lot for him to get used to, and you can't expect him to get acclimated to it this quickly. But with Lonzo starting and the new look LeBron Lakers, they would start the season 18-12 through their first 30 games, which they went 10-20 last year. So a big improvement for the Lakers. Obviously, with LeBron, they're going to be better, but Lonzo's still starting in these games, and we know he can contribute to winning, so this is a good sign. And around this time, LeBron would actually suffer a groin injury on Christmas Day, which was not good to see for the Lakers, but could they keep up this winning pace, and could Lonzo maybe step up and be somewhat of the guy for the Lakers with LeBron out? And in the first game without LeBron, Lonzo would have 20 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists, 61% from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, 2 steals, and a block, and they would lose this game off of a game winner, but a great sign for Lonzo believers after LeBron's injury. And he would actually be showing some subtle improvements around this stretch, even though the Lakers were not winning as much as they could. He's putting up games like 13-9-8, 18-6-10, and yes, some low point games, but when he's not scoring, he's assisting, and so the Lonzo improvement arc is starting to begin. But then in a game against the Rockets, Lonzo would sprain his left ankle. Oh man, this isn't looking good. He's on the floor, he's grabbing it. Oh man, hopefully it's not that bad. Well, it would be that bad, as he would miss the remainder of the season. He would play in 0 more games. Ruled out with that left ankle sprain ever since he suffered it. Boom, just like that, in a blink of an eye, Lonzo's second year in the NBA is already over. The Chino Hills kid, the UCLA kid that we were so used to watching, is already done with his second year in the NBA. And he would only play in 47 games this season, 5 less than last season, and he would only average 30 minutes a game, which is less than last season, and pretty much everything across the board was down, but you can expect that with playing with LeBron. However, the efficiency did see a slight improvement, but still shooting 41% from the free throw line. We don't know what's going on with that. However, after this season, and Lonzo and LeBron got a season together playing, even though both of them got hurt and they didn't really play that many games together, the Lakers were kind of saying that they don't like these two playing together. They play too similar. They're both ball dominant. They both like to pass. They're pass first. They're not score first. So a lot of talks about a trade were now going on with Lonzo now that LeBron is kind of the Lakers market. And then boom, Lonzo traded to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis. He's going over there along with Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart with a butt ton of picks. Whoa, Lonzo Ball, the LA kid, is now traded to New Orleans. Hold on, switching gears. Chapter 3, Pelicans Zoe. Lonzo, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, and Derek Favors. Now on the Pelicans, okay, a new look for Lonzo. The first time we aren't going to watch him play in LA in basically his whole career. Now he's away from LA like we just said, and he famously says in a media day or some interview that he is excited to just play basketball again. He is ready to just go out there and hoop. And the Pelicans would also draft Zion in this offseason. So their young core of Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, and now Zion is looking really scary, and this rebuild is off to an amazing start. And almost the most important piece of this entire video is once Lonzo gets to New Orleans, he gets a new shot doctor, Fred Vinson, and he is actually going to change Lonzo's broken off the side iconic jumper into a regular NBA basketball shot, and we will see how this plays out in the regular season, if his efficiency goes up or not. And also the Pelicans' expectations going into the season was a lot different than the Lakers last season with LeBron. They were just expected to go out there and hoop. They had a rookie Zion, a whole new buttload of young players. It was no pressure for Lonzo. He just got to go out there and play basketball like he said. And going into year 3 for Lonzo, his first game as a Pelican, he would drop 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but shoot 2 for 3 from 3 and hit both free throws, which is just something great to see. Even though it's not the best game, it's just good to see those shots going in. And through Lonzo's first week as a Pelican, he's dropping basic Lonzo stat lines, but one thing I do want to mention is the 3-point percentage is already up, and he is shooting way more threes than we're used to seeing, trying to get acclimated to that new jumper. However, just as we're getting started in the season, Lonzo Ball would be ruled out with a right adductor strain, and he would miss 6 games for this. Only 6 games. Not that bad, you know, no need to hold your breath or anything, but just something to know about an injury he's dealing with. Steph Curry with the pop butt. Hey, Steph Curry with the shot butt. 7 threes for Lonzo, 7 for 12, triple-double. Oh my goodness, Pelicans, Lonzo is here. Just look at this stretch of games from Lonzo on the Pelicans. Wow, we are really settling in here in New Orleans, and he is cooking, looking like an amazing new version of himself with that newfound shot form. Oh my goodness. Another trippy-dubby for Lonzo, even though they would lose this game. 4 for 9 from 3. The efficiency is looking so much better this season. He's dropping triple-doubles, and now we are nearing the return of Zion, who obviously missed the beginning of the season with an injury. I talked about this in the Zion files if you watched it, but now we are excited to see Showtime New Orleans with Lonzo and Zion. And look at these assist numbers. 15 assists in that game against Boston. He was just feeding Zion the entire game, and we can officially say that Lonzo is showing great signs of improvement with his first year in New Orleans. He is expanding his game. He can shoot the 3 ball better. He is looking amazing. Going into March of 2020, back-to-back games with 7 3-pointers. Oh my goodness, literally March 3rd, March 4th. He's playing back-to-backs. He's healthy. This is amazing. Let's go. Could I dare say next season we could be entering some all-star talks with Lonzo? I don't know. I'm just saying. And just as he was starting to heat up even more, the NBA shutdown would obviously happen, and Lonzo and everybody in the entire league would get a bunch of time off before the bubble. And Lonzo would actually travel with the Pelicans to the bubble when time would come. And, you know, he would have all right games, not that good, but it was the bubble. The Pelicans were already pretty much out of the playoff race. He was just there to hoop at this point, and no one was really criticizing him for these games. And he would end the season as the 13th seed on the Pelicans, which wasn't a big deal. They just traded Anthony Davis, brought in all these new players, drafted a rookie. So first Pelicans year for Zion is officially over. Let's look at the stats. So Lonzo would play in 63 games, the most we've ever seen him play in, and he probably would have played the whole season if there was no NBA shutdown, but he would average 32 minutes per game, about 12 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.4 steals, and look, the efficiency is up. We're up to 40% from the field and 37 above league average percent from 3, and the free throw percentage is up above 50, which is, I mean, I guess that's a win. But Lonzo's first year as a Pelican, first time we're really seeing real development. And honestly, just the duo of Zion and Lonzo was so fun to watch. The lobs, the high, fast pace that the coach would let them play at. They obviously also had Brandon Ingram on the team. It was just a really fun team in New Orleans at this time. Anyway, we were going into a shortened offseason because of the NBA restart and everything. We needed to start the season a little bit closer to the end of the season, but we're all excited to see Pelicans Lonzo maybe take another step. And as I said, I don't know, there's been some sprinkle of all-star talks here for Lonzo. And now the New Orleans Pelicans had slightly higher expectations after their first year of the rebuild. Maybe they could sneak into a play-in spot, a low playoff spot, but for the most part, they just want to see development from the young core. So let's dive in to Lonzo's second year on the Pelicans, 4th year in the league. In his first game of the season, he would drop 16, 5, and 2, shooting 4 for 8 from 3, 4 for 6 from the line. It's almost like that 3-point shot has been fully set in at this point, and the Pelicans would win this game and he would start. So great start to the season. Only a week and a half or about 2 weeks in, he would miss 3 games with a little knee injury, but it's only 3 games, nothing to freak out about. Take deep breaths. The Lonzo development is officially here. Look at these games: 27, 8, and 7, 14, 5, 3 steals, 18 points, 20 points, 16, 7, and 7. Lonzo is elite now on offense as he is on defense. He's one of the best point of attack perimeter defenders in the league. Oh my goodness, the development is carrying over into this season. Lonzo Ball was officially balling. Look at this new screenshot. He is consistently putting up over 12 points, which was was his average last season. And the assists, the rebounds, the steals, the three-pointers, it's all there for Lonzo. Oh my goodness. Show off on him, Zoe. 17 assists, only 2 turnovers, 3 for 7 from 3 and a 1-point loss. But obviously, he's starting all of these games. He is now showing off in some of these games, dropping insane numbers. And right after this game, Lonzo would miss 7 games with a right hip flexor strain. But then again, this isn't that crazy. He's been playing most of the season. He's only missed 3 games. So this injury isn't that bad. He misses 7 games. Again, nothing to freak out about. Lonzo, coming off that injury, would drop 8 threes. He would shoot 8 for 18 from the field. Every single shot he made was a 3 in this game in the win against the Rockets. It's official. He can shoot threes. He is a threat. That new shot from that shot doctor, oh my goodness, like they opened up a whole new path to his game. You're here. There's nothing I fear. Triple-double, 2 33-point games, 8 threes, 7 threes. Let's go. And he's doing all of this alongside Zion, who's having the best year of his career, and he was an all-star. This Pelicans team, even though they're not that good, the future is so promising. 33-point games. Unfortunately, Lonzo would miss the last 3 games of the season with a right thumb strain. Unfortunately, the Pelicans would also miss the play-in by just 2 games. Dang, watching this team in the play-in or even as the 8th seed in the postseason would have been super fun. But it's only positive things to look forward to from here. The team has looked decent, and Lonzo and Zion have looked great. They also have Brandon Ingram. Oh my goodness. By far, Lonzo's best year of his career. He showed dramatic improvement, 14.6 points per game. Yes, the assists and the rebounds are down a little bit, but remember, Zion was an all-star this year. He was cooking the entire year, so Lonzo was not the first option. But still, 1.5 steals per game. He's an elite defender. The efficiency is officially decent, 41% from the field, 37, almost 38% from 3. And look, he figured it out at the free throw line, almost 80% from the line. Lonzo, if his career keeps taking this improvement trajectory, we could be in some scary talks. And the league knew about it. Lonzo was a free agent this offseason, and rumors of the Clippers, the Bulls linked to him, and the Pelicans were unlikely to match a big offer for him because they still have Brandon Ingram, Zion. They have other pieces as well. So they could lose Lonzo, but it wouldn't be the best thing for them in their eyes, but it also wouldn't be the worst. They'd rather keep Zion or BI. And boom, the Bulls sign Lonzo Ball to an $85 million deal. The kid is going from New Orleans to Chicago. We would have loved to see him keep playing in New Orleans alongside Zion, but that's just not where the cards were dealt here with this team. They had too much to deal with, but the Bulls are signing him, and he just came off the best year of his career. He's looking like he's going to keep getting better, and we can't wait to see him now in Chicago. Chapter 4. Bulls Lonzo. Lonzo was going into a new environment here in Chicago with Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan, and they were expected to make the playoffs, and also Lonzo was expected to improve and help make everyone else on this team better. And in Lonzo's first game as a Chicago Bull, let's dive right into it. 12, 4, and 6 in a win. He would shoot 5 for 12, 2 for 6 from 3. Obviously, first game on a brand new team, he would start, play 33 minutes. We are just getting started with his elite defender and elite offensive player. And it wouldn't take long for Lonzo to start cooking. And look at some of these games. He has multiple games here with 4 blocks. Obviously, the triple-double there in the middle. Lonzo is still improving now that he's on a new team. He just keeps getting better, and we just love to see it. New screenshot here. Look at the Bulls winning almost every single game. Lonzo playing in almost every single game, playing elite defense, elite offense, doing what he needs to do on the court to get the team to win, and he's doing it at a super efficient level. We've seen the best efficiency we've ever seen from Lonzo here in Chicago. And the Bulls would start 25-10 in their first 35 games this season. They are regarded as one of the best teams in the entire NBA, not just the Eastern Conference, the entire NBA, and Lonzo is the starting point guard. But then on January 14th, 2022, Lonzo Ball would suffer a knee injury in a game against the Warriors. And while this sucks, at the time, the original timetable for Lonzo's return was 6 to 8 weeks. So most fans thought that the team could compete with Alex Caruso starting in his position until Lonzo comes back. But like I said, they thought it was just a bone bruise or a knee bruise, but after further evaluation, it revealed the tear, and he would undergo surgery on January 28th, 2022. And Lonzo would not play a single game for the rest of the 2021-22 season, and the Bulls would end as the 6th seed, and they would lose in the first round of the playoffs after being the 1 seed for the majority of the season. And the only thing on Bulls fans' minds at this point was, what if? With Lonzo Ball, they were 22-13 on the season, and without him, they were barely above 500, and that's what made them fall to the 6th seed. It really was Lonzo who was making this team elite, and without him, they were just average. And even though he would only play 35 games this season, let's take a look at the totals. Playing 34 minutes per game, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.8 steals, and almost a block per game. And look at the efficiency, 42% from the field, 42% from 3, 75% from the line. He is officially an elite three-point shooter, an elite defender, and an elite facilitator. We just have to hope he can heal from this knee injury. And we are now in the offseason just hoping that the recovery and the retreatment and everything going on for Lonzo would be good enough for him to suit up to start next year, because we all saw what the Bulls looked like when he was on the court. However, we would get absolutely terrible news right before the start of the season saying that Lonzo needs to go and do another procedure on this knee. Oh, what? He just had surgery on it. Now he has to have another surgery? And in this article, it would explain that after more than 8 months, Lonzo would remain sidelined with a puzzling knee injury that just would not go away. And he said, I still can't play basketball. I can't run or jump. There's a range from 30 to 60 degrees within my knee. And it just wasn't looking good. So they decided to just send him back in there on September 28th, and he would be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks after this second surgery. And 4 to 6 weeks after the surgery in late November, we would get Bulls point guard Lonzo Ball making slow progress in the knee rehab. There have been no setbacks, but the concern continues. And later says that maybe we should start seeing him be practicing and maybe be ready for a return in January or February of this season. But it was obvious to everybody at this point that this just wasn't a normal knee injury. What was going on here? People were saying they tried to wrap their head around it and figure it out, but they couldn't even figure it out, as he would still feel pain. The Bulls medical staff was trying to rehab him, and it seemed like nothing was working. They had no idea what was really going on in his knee. And the Bulls would decide in late February 2023 that they're just going to rule him out for the rest of the season. They're not going to try to say that there's a return date set. He's just fully trying to rehab, and the medical staff is just going to try to figure out what is really going on here. And they were basically saying in this that the ceiling, his fully healthy peak, was just not enough to actually play high-level basketball. So they were pivoting their focus to rehab him and try to get him to have a full return for next season, the 2023-24 season. So he's planning to make it the next season, but he is missing this entire season. And as you can see, the Bulls are the 11 seed. They're mid without him. However, just not even a month later, Lonzo Ball to undergo 3rd knee surgery, and now he's expected to miss most of next season. What? A 3rd knee surgery? And they were calling this surgery the Hail Mary surgery. He just wasn't recovering from the first 2, and they were saying that if this one doesn't work out, his career would likely be over, but they needed to do it because he just wasn't ever going to make a full recovery from the first 2. And this surgery would be some sort of double cartilage, double knee surgery, insane surgery that he would need to go over, and it's the only thing that could save his career. And everyone was talking about this, and everyone was saying he was going to miss all of next season too. So now he's missed all of the 2022-23 season, and now he's expected to miss all of the 2023-24 season. Man, what? This is just so sad to see. And critics were saying that Lonzo would never play again, that his knee was completely screwed. And while they were right that his knee was not good, there was still hope for a lot of players and fans that he would be able to come back after this 3rd Hail Mary surgery and that he would actually be able to make a full recovery. And Lonzo would actually respond to Stephen A. Smith with a video showing him sitting up and down on just the one leg of the one knee, saying, "Come to the actual source next time. I'm not hard to reach," saying that I am feeling good. My knee, I can sit up and down on it. I can put pressure on it. Stop hating on me. This injury is not my fault. And Stephen A. would actually double down after seeing this video, saying, "I don't care if you can do that. That's not the same as playing basketball." And honestly, just generational hate from Stephen A. Smith here, hating on an injured player that had to go through 3 knee surgeries, dramatic, almost career ending for Lonzo. Why is Stephen A. Smith hating on this? Honestly, I'll never understand. understand. But now, since that season was over, we are heading into the 2023-24 season, which Lonzo was basically already ruled out for the entire season. He was not expected to make a return, but he still would remain with the team on the sidelines and rehabbing his knee every single day. But we are just eyeing that return in 2024 for the 24-25 season. Chapter 5, The Return. After missing 2.5 NBA seasons, Lonzo Ball sees first game action in 1,006 days. He would be playing in a preseason game for the Chicago Bulls. He's back. This was an emotional time for a bunch of Lonzo fans and Bulls fans, and honestly, any diehard NBA fan. And in this game, Lonzo would see 15 minutes of action, 10 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, hitting 2 threes. He's finally back after 2.5 years, 1,000 days, and he's looking like he can play this season. He showed all the haters that his knee is actually game ready. But to start the season, he would play a couple games, then he would be ruled out with a right wrist sprain, this sucks to see, but at least it's not the knee, right? We see, okay, he's out with a right wrist sprain. That's okay. He can heal from that. At least it's not the knee still, getting after. And he would heal from that injury and come back and start playing in NBA games again after 2.5 years. Obviously, not the production that we saw before the injury, but that's totally fine. This is his first time playing on this knee in 2.5 years after all these surgeries. He's just getting back into the swing of things, and we just love to see it. And we would start to see his production pick up in mid to late February of 2025. We are just so excited to see Lonzo back on the court still. Every single time we see him play, it's like a gem. It's a treat at this point. However, right after his production would start to pick up again, he would be ruled out for the rest of the season with a right wrist sprain, which does suck, but at least it's not the knee. I can't stress that enough. It's not the knee. It's almost like that knee problem is mostly solved. Obviously, a lot of people were saying at this point he'll never be what he was before the knee injury, but at least he's back on the court and the knee is playable. And this is our first time looking at Lonzo Ball stats in almost 2.5 years, but he would play in 35 games this season after all of that, playing 22 minutes a game, 7.6 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 steals. This guy is always getting steals, and the efficiency is down, but this is his first season back, 35 games. That we'll take what we can get, and maybe eventually he can get back to what he was pre-injury, but obviously low expectations. Now we are heading into the offseason where Lonzo Ball would get into some trade talks after his return, and he was healing up from that right wrist sprain. Would the Bulls look to keep him or trade him? It was really up in the air. And boom, the Cavaliers trade for Lonzo Ball, sending Isaac Okoro, who's a good NBA player, to the Bulls on June 28th, 2025. So now Lonzo going to his new team here in Cleveland. Expectations are kind of all over the place, low, high, middle. We are just excited to see maybe Lonzo thrive in a new system. Maybe he gets some minutes. Who knows? Lonzo is on a new team. That is what is happening. And boom, Media Day 2025, we get to see Lonzo in his new Cavaliers thread. Let's get into the season. It's safe to say Lonzo has officially returned back from his wrist injury and his knee injury. He is getting minutes on a team that just won 60-plus games last season, and he is playing pretty decent for Lonzo, honestly, after the injury and everything. Okay, here's a new screenshot. Obviously, Lonzo is not being asked to do that much, and he is filling the role kind of. The only thing that you can't see with these just basic stat line box scores here is that his efficiency in these games was absolutely terrible. His efficiency was so bad, it would basically lead him to get out of the rotation for the Cavaliers come 2026. He really wasn't getting that many minutes anymore. He was shooting less than 35% from the field and less than 30% from 3. And to try to get minutes on a team that is going for a title that just won 60 games last year, one of the only ways you can get on the floor is by being an elite shooter. And Lonzo, who used to be that, it just seemed like he lost it. And in his games with the Cavs this season, playing in 35 total games, 20 minutes per game, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 30% from the field, 27% from 3, 60% from the line, 43% true shooting, and the Cavs, they had had enough. They would deal him at the deadline to the Jazz in a 3-team swap, and so Lonzo Ball, his career with the Cavs, short-lived, and he was officially getting traded to the Utah Jazz. And the Jazz would quickly waive him and Chris Boucher after the trade deadline, and so Lonzo Ball is officially not on an NBA team at this current point. Lonzo Ball is officially a free agent at the time of me making this video, and will a team pick him up? Will he keep training and get picked up eventually? I don't know. And Lonzo Ball is just such an amazing story, from the kid in Chino Hills going to UCLA, getting drafted number 2 by his hometown Lakers, playing there, then getting traded to the Pelicans, balling out, getting traded to the Bulls, being on the best team in the league, starting point guard, showing improvements every single game, to the 3 knee surgeries, to returning after everyone had written him off, saying that he should just retire, coming back and playing, and even getting traded, getting minutes on the Cavs, who were title contending this season. It's sad to see that now he is not on an NBA team, and he's still young in my opinion. I feel like he could still get picked up by somebody. Eventually, he could keep working on his craft, get his shot back, and I don't think this is the end for Lonzo Ball. I've been a Ball fan almost my entire life, watching him in Chino Hills, just watching him play at UCLA and everything, and I think that he could still have a chance in this league if he gets his shot back, gets his confidence back. He is still an elite defender at times. He is still able to shoot. He's still able to facilitate. If he could just get his mojo back, and no, I don't think he will ever be the player he was pre-knee surgery, but I do think he could get back to a player that is serviceable enough to play on an NBA team. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. This video took so much effort to make. And please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment what you think. I love you all. Please subscribe. Goal is 5K subscribers. Let's go. Love you all. Peace.